Listen to me, there comes a moment when heaven interrupts your striving. You have knocked on doors, you have searched, you have sent applications, you have prayed, Lord, give me a job. But God sent me to tell you this: stop searching for what you think you need, because God is preparing what you were born for. Some of you think rejection means failure, but rejection is sometimes heaven's protection, keeping your heart from settling in a place too small for your calling. When a season closes, do not mourn like those without hope. Lift your eyes. You are being moved, not removed. There is a difference. Child of God, when you detach from fear, opportunity bows before you. When you stop clinging to security, God begins to reveal destiny. Faith is not holding tightly, faith is releasing. Too many pray with closed fists. Let go. Lift your hands. Tell him, Lord, I trust your plan. I trust what I want. Hear me now. You do not need a job to survive. You need obedience to thrive. This world promotes hustle and anxiety, but the kingdom promotes surrender and authority. You are not here to beg the earth. The earth was commanded to respond to you. Stand tall. Walk as one who is called, not as one who is desperate. There is a divine silence in this season, not because God abandoned you, but because heaven is rearranging your path. You think nothing is happening, but roots always grow beneath the surface before fruit appears in the open. Let peace fill you. Let confidence and the carry you. Detachment is your greatest weapon. The one who no longer fears loss is the one God can trust with abundance. My spirit tells me this: you are entering a chapter where doors you didn't knock on will open. People you never met will speak your name. Provision will come without panic. Not because you chased opportunity, but because you chased God. Do not cry for positions that cannot contain your anointing. Do not grieve places that could not hold your destiny. Heaven has already prepared your assignment. Stand firm, stay surrendered, keep your spirit at rest, and watch the Father unveil a life you never even dared to pray for. The greatest turning point of a believer's life is the moment they release their need to control where they go and who accepts them, and instead surrender to divine direction. Many people believe strength is holding on, pushing harder, chasing after pausing and chance and opportunities as if their future depends on human doors. But true strength, heavenly strength, is seen not in grasping, but in releasing, not in clinging to certainty, but in stepping into the unknown with confidence that the God who called you is already waiting for you on the other side. There is a holy dignity that rises in the soul when you detach from the fear of not having enough. When you are free from the anxiety of what if no one hires me? What if I fail? What if I am overlooked? You begin to taste the atmosphere of heaven, where provision is not earned through panic, but are received through trust. He world tells you that your value is tied to what job you hold, what salary you earn, what position you occupy. But the kingdom says, your worth was sealed before you ever worked a day on this earth. God did not breathe His Spirit into you so you could spend your life begging for acceptance from men. He breathed His Spirit into you so you could walk as one who already belongs to Him, to destiny, to purpose. Look around you. Society is busy, frantic, restless. People chase jobs like lifeboats, terrified that if they miss one opportunity, they will drown in lack. But carefully. The child of God does not drown, they walk on waves that others sink in. When you detach from fear, you rise above circumstances. When you stop needing people to place you, God Himself becomes your placement agency. The one who chases the world will always run, but the one who stands in faith becomes a magnet for destiny. Doors open for those who are not desperate to enter them. Divine confidence is the fragrance that attracts divine appointment. Do not misunderstand detachment. It is not laziness. It is not apathy. It is not passively waiting for miracles to fall into your lap. No, detachment is a spiritual discipline. It is working diligently while being emotionally free from outcomes. It is applying for positions while knowing your identity is not hanging on them. It is showing up, prepared, excellent, and responsible, yet at complete peace if the door does not open. Be content the art, because you know if that door stays closed, it is because another one, higher and greater, is already unlocked by heaven. Sometimes God delays not to deny you, but to detox your soul from dependence on human approval. He withholds what you want to give you what you are destined for. He does not allow every door to open because you are not called to live at every level. There are places where your gifts would be buried, places where your spirit would shrink, places too small for the calling inside you. He is not ignoring your prayers, he is protecting your purpose. Detachment trains your hearts. No, trust his timing more than your own desires. There comes a maturity in the spirit where you no longer measure your life by what you receive, but by who you are becoming. You begin to see that God is not rushing. Why should you? He is not worried. Why should you? He is not limited by the economy, by hiring managers. By qualification lists, he is limited only by how tightly you cling to your own plan. Release and you rise. Surrender and you ascend. A heart surrendered cannot be shaken. A soul detached cannot be enslaved by disappointment. You become untouchable, not because life will not burden you, but because your spirit no longer bows to earthly pressure. When you truly detach, you stop praying, Lord, give me a job, and you begin praying, Lord, place me where you have ordained. You stop asking, when will my turn come? And you begin declaring, my time is already set by Hev, Atibarsanen. That inner knowing becomes your core. That calm confidence becomes your armor. That posture of surrender becomes your power. And hear this, when your heart reaches the place of holy detachment, God does what only God can do. He lifts you without your striving. He promotes you without your peace ashing. He displays you without your self-promotion. You do not chase, you are chosen. You do not beg, you are assigned. You do not fear missing out. You know destiny cannot miss you. This is the strength of the surrendered soul. To walk in peace while others panic, to rest while others race, to true adrc while others grasp. For the one who has truly let go walks not behind the world, but ahead of it, led by the hand of God. Detachment is not giving up, it is rising above. Many misunderstand this sacred principle. They think when someone stops chasing, they have stopped caring. But in the Langwa Binbaranji of heaven, the moment you stop chasing is the moment you start ascending. Detachment does not mean you abandon responsibility. It means you abandon desperation. It means your peace is no longer held hostage by circumstances. And when circumstances no longer control your emotional state, you become such a vessel that God can truly use. There is a realm of spiritual maturity where you no longer pray from panic, but from peace. You no longer beg God to rescue you because you know He already has a plan. You stop holding your breath at every closed door because you have seen enough of His faithfulness to know that nothing that belongs to you can be taken, delayed, or denied. In this realm, nothing external governs your internal stability. Jobs may come or go. People may applaud or ignore. Seasons may shift, but your spirit stays rooted. You do not collapse when things don't work. You do not LMDDRs your identity when opportunities shift. Detachment is not weakness. It is the posture of one who knows they sit in heavenly places. Look at the world constantly running, chasing, comparing, competing. People exhaust themselves trying to prove their worth, scrambling for validation, constantly performing to be seen. But when you are detached, you no longer dance before men hoping someone applauds. You walk confidently knowing heaven already approves. You don't strive to be noticed because you know purpose cannot be overlooked. You don't chase relevance because your assignment already gives you eternal relevance. Detachment liberates you from the tyranny of human opinion and places you into the freedom of divine identity. When you detach emotionally from outcomes, you gain mastery over your emotions. You do not crumble when prayers take time to manifest. You do not retreat into fear when plans change. You become fluid like water, able to move with God's direction instead of clinging to your own timeline. Faith without detachment is still fear. It is still holding on to control, only with religious language. Faith with detachment, however, is surrender. It is trust. It is TCR, a peace that says, if God opened it, I want it. If He closed it, I don't. That is spiritual strength. That is spiritual maturity. Listen carefully. Emotional detachment does not make you cold. It makes you unshakable. It does not make you careless. It makes you grounded. You still desire good things. You just do not depend on them for your joy. You still pursue excellence. You just do not crumble if earthly rewards take time to appear. You still dream, but you do not panic in the waiting. You show up, prepared, but you do not fear outcomes. God can trust a heart like that, because a detached heart cannot be manipulated by circumstances. It cannot be bribed by comfort or intimidated by threat. Such a heart is loyal only to God, not to opportunity. There are seasons where heaven deliberately delays visible results to train your detachment, not because you are forgotten, but because Jita Barodi is forming a warrior in you. You cannot lead spiritually if every shift makes you anxious. You cannot carry destiny if every transition shakes you. Detachment is your spiritual muscle. It teaches you to trust the unseen more than the visible. It teaches you to walk without needing constant riasu and tabar rants. It teaches you to rest when others worry, to wait when others rush, to believe when others doubt. This is the mark of the chosen, not that life is easy, but that they cannot be broken by it. When your heart no longer clings to earthly security, heaven begins to trust you with spiritual asig and enlightenment. God does not promote clingy souls. He promotes surrendered souls. He does not release destiny to those who panic at uncertainty, but to those who thrive in it. For uncertainty to the believer is simply divine transition in disguise. When you detach, you stop fearing the unknown, because you are realize the unknown is simply the place God goes before you. You stop measuring your life by stability and begin measuring it by obedience. And here is the mystery. Once you let go, everything begins to come. When you no longer fear missing out, what is meant for you finds you. When you no longer need validation, people begin to recognize your value. When you stop chasing acceptance, you are embraced by divine positioning. Detachment invites destiny to meet you, rather than you exhausting yourself running after it. The greater your release, the greater your elevation. The freer your spirit, and He stronger your authority. Detachment is not losing it, is ascending. It is stepping out of human, striving into divine flow, walking in the calm confidence that what God has planned cannot pass you by. Your peace becomes your power, your stillness becomes your strength, and your trust becomes the bridge to your destiny. God moves most powerfully when your hands are empty and your heart is surrendered. There is a sacred paradox hidden in the life of every believer when you stop pushing doors open with your own strength. God begins to open the right ones with His. When you release your grasp on control, you step into divine orchestration. your striving CA, and build a career, but only surrender can reveal a calling. You can chase opportunities, but only surrender can draw destiny to you. Heaven does not respond to panic. It responds to yieldedness. The miracle is not given to the one who fias hardest, but to the one who trusts deepest. We are trained by this world to equate effort with success. We are told that if we just push a little harder, hustle a little more, knock louder, demand our place, then doors will eventually give way. But the kingdom does not operate by force, it operates by alignment. There are doors your labor can open, and there are doors only grace can open. There are places your Assam can take you, and there are places only God's hand can carry you. When you live clenched-fisted, trying to hold every plan, every dream, every timeline in your control, you choke the flow of divine strategy. But when you lift your hands in surrender, you invite heaven's architecture to build your future. Empty hands are not a sign of lack, they are a sign of readiness. A heart that has emptied itself of fear, ambition, pride, and self-sufficiency becomes a pure vessel, tent apart, and God fills what is emptied. Think of a seed. It must first die. It must let go of its form before it can break open and release life. There is always a burial before resurrection, always a surrender before glory. Many believers fear the burial season, the season where they seem unseen, unrecognized, uncelebrated. Yet that is where heaven does its deepest work. Beneath the soil, roots are forming. In the hidden place, strength is being forged. When your hands are empty, when you have no option but God, you discover the treasure of true faith. Sometimes God will strip away props not to people are a non-issue, but to purify you. He removes crutches, so you learn to walk in spiritual authority. He lets your efforts fail, so you recognize His power. He allows silence, so you learn to recognize His whisper. It is in the moment where you say, Lord, without you I can do nothing, that heaven says, you are ready to receive everything. Surrender is not resignation. It is spiritual positioning. It is not quitting. It is stepping aside so God can take the lead. When your heart is surrendered, peace becomes your natural state. Anxiety loosens its grip. You no longer wake up trying to force Morphe into your plan. Instead, you rise each day asking, Father, what are you building today? Where you were not created to chase opportunities, you were chosen to attract destiny. In the kingdom, pursuit looks different than in the world. The world teaches you to run, to compete, to scramble for recognition, as if life were a race where only the fastest survive. But heaven teaches stillness, identity, confidence in who God has shaped you to be. What belongs to you is drawn to the light God has placed in you, not to the anxiety you project into the world. The man or woman who knows who they are never chases, they stand. They grow, they trust, and they become the kind of son destiny cannot ignore. There is a magnetic pull in the spirit realm. When you walk with clarity, when your heart is rooted in purpose and your mind anchored in peace, you emit a frequency that draws the right peep and the right opportunities, the right rooms. Heaven aligns the path beneath your feet. Favor becomes the wind behind you instead of a mountain in front of you. You do not beg to be noticed. God whispers your name in the hearts of those connected to your assignment. When you cultivate inner alignment, NBR&T, outer promotion becomes inevitable. Destiny finds you not because you ran faster, but because you stood deeper. The one who chases is always tired. The one who chases is always comparing, always proving, always trying to become worthy. But destiny is not earned, it is inherited. It is not secure, R&D through panic, but through posture. Some spend years fighting for seats God never built for them. only to discover that peace comes when they stop trying to sit at every table and allow God to build a table that carries their name. The world wants you to compete, but heaven wants you to consecrate. NTRE, the world wants you to strive, but heaven wants you to surrender. You are not in a race with anyone. You are in alignment with God. Attraction in the spirit is not passive. It is intentional spiritual cultivation. You do not withdraw from life. You anchor yourself in God. You do not stop work. You stop worrying. You do not quit moving. You quit panicking. Your stillness is not inactivity. It is gravitational power. Your peace becomes influence. Your confidence becomes signal. Your faith becomes magnet. When your heart is still, your spirit becomes loud. Heaven recognizes stability. Angels respond to obedience. Divine timing respects preparation. You become a vessel ready for assignment, not a wanderer looking for fulfillment in human doors. Let me tell you this, when you are chasing, your vision narrows. You see only what is in front of you, the job, the approval, the applause and pardon. But when you stand, eyes lifted toward the one who called you, your vision expands. You begin to see possibility beyond human limitation. You begin to recognize that God can orchestrate what no arsam can earn, what no networking can secure, what no competition can steal. When you stop chasing, why for you? Stop acting like an orphan in the kingdom. You step into sonship. Sons and daughters do not beg for positioning. They take their place through identity. Every great destiny begins with inward transformation. Before God brings you into your calling, He brings you into yourself. He strips away the pride that seeks validation, the insecurity that fears rejection, the striving that confuses motion with purpose. When those layers fall, you become aligned with who you truly are, a chosen one, a called one, a royal priesthood, a carrier of heaven's mandate. People do not follow the one who demands attention. They follow the one who carries presence. Opportunities do not bow to the hungry, they bow to the prepared, the grounded, the surrendered. And understand this: when you no longer run after life, life begins to meet you on the path God designed. Divine encounters appear. Sudden favor unfold. NDRDS. When others ask, how did this happen for you? You will simply smile, because you know it was not your chase, but your alignment. You will know it was not your hustle, but His hand. You will know it was not ambition, but assignment. That is the secret of those who walk with God. What others submerge and struggle to attain, they simply attract. So breathe, stop striving, release the fear that if you do not chase, you will miss your future. Your future is not a moving target, it is a divine appointment. Walk with God and you will not miss it. Grow in character and you will be ready for it. Rest in His timing and you will arrive right on schedule. The blessing moves toward those who trust, not those who panic. Destiny chases those who walk in peace. For when heaven marks you, no force on earth can overlook you. You are not behind, you are being positioned. And everything prepared for you is already moving in your direction. And now hear this in the deepest part of your spirit. Everything you thought you lost, everything you feared you missed, everything you worried was slipping through your fingers, none of it has escaped the hand of God. He has been arranging your steps, not according to human logic, but divine timing. You were never just waiting, you were being prepared. You were never being delayed, you were being shaped. This is not a season of absence, this is a season of alignment. Release the striving, release the fear, release the need to force open doors. Stand tall in who He made you to be. When you detach from what the world clings to, you rise into what heaven has reserved. What others chase will meet you. What others fight for will bow to you. The world may run, but you will rise. The world may panic, but you will rest. The world may compete, but you will be 10% led. Trust this, your life is not random. Your future is not fragile. Your destiny is not in the hands of men. You belong to a God who does not misplace his chosen. You are seen, you are guided, you are appointed. And what is written for you cannot be erased by rejection, delay, or disappointment. And boss, and nothing is lostly planted. Nothing is withheldenly timed. So walk forward now with calm authority. Let peace be your evidence. Let stillness be your strength. You do not need to chase what heaven has declared will find you. Move with grace. Stand with confidence. Live surrendered, for your Surin Tentr dear is your strength. Your faith is your strategy. Your rest is your warfare. And when the breakthrough comes and you will not say, I achieved this by my effort, but God brought me into this by his hand. You will know you did not climb to destiny. Destiny rose to meet you. Your story is not in the hands of man. You are being led. You are being lifted. You are being positioned by heaven. Walk in peace and watch God finish what he started in you. Your time is not coming, it has already begun.